Coffee in Yogyakarta is more than a drink. It is culture, community, and part of our everyday life. Behind every sip is a story that you are tasting. Here in Yogyakarta, we have a lot of cafes, mostly visited by students. They go here to study, they go here to work, or they're just here to hang out.
In this project, we explore how coffee in Yogyakarta has made an impact to students' daily lives.
Now, you might be wondering, why have we chosen Yogyakarta to observe rather than any other cities? Well, it's because Jogja is the city where tradition meets modern lifestyles, where cafes have become an extension of everyday life.
Using the perspective of international relations, we will be diving into three interconnected ideas. The first one being how globalization of daily life shapes Jogja's routine. The second one being how coffee fits into the global value chain. And the last one being how modern lifestyle reflects the pattern of consumerism. Okay, so we are now going to be moving on to our first interviewing session. Let's go! We are here today accompanied by,
Hello guys, my name is Noval Kumateraksan. You may as well call me Noval.
and also,
And I am Devazis Mataneko.
what's the reason for going to the cafe?
I need a comfortable place to study and to learn about my college material for tomorrow's class, like that.
There's no like public facilities to go to study with, and I go often to cafe to do study and things like that.
But why do you prefer to choose cafe over maybe campus facilities or maybe other public spaces?
To answer that questions, I think there is not enough public spaces or things like that to actually people do study there.
I actually often go to the coffee shop that is owned by University of Hamadan. I see that the student of UAD itself often goes to their own coffee shop. That shows that if we are given the good facility in our public space, in our college, the student will actually go there instead of going to the nearby coffee shop.
Do you think that cafe trends in Jogja are influenced maybe by Korean, Japanese, or maybe even Western coffee styles?
The menu itself on cafe is like very very Western, like the way they serve pastry from France and things like that. And we can't even see Indonesian menu on those cafe because it's not like mainly popular, or even like Indonesian people would choose that on cafe because like there's still like so many standardizations on Western or even like other countries.
Do you think that cafes is now a part of students' lifestyle, especially in Jogja?
So many much more new cafes like in building and coming, and I think it's being part of like the Jogja student lifestyle.
Kehadiran kafe itu bukan hanya memengaruhi siswa-siswa aja, karena sebenarnya bahkan orang yang udah bekerja, orang yang udah memiliki keluarga, mereka lebih sering untuk nongkrong di kafe hanya untuk bercerita atau hanya untuk mendiskusikan kerjaan mereka. Jadi kayak ada kehadiran kafe ini sebenarnya nggak mempengaruhi di satu aspek kehidupan mahasiswa aja kok, tapi semuanya.
If Jogja has more public spaces or maybe better campus facilities, would you still choose cafes over these other choices?
In reality, maybe I would like to try my own university's cafe or public spaces if they are actually improving their facilities.
I think as long as like they serve the same experience as we get from like cafes, like the ambience, comfortableness, and others, of course I will do choose public spaces. With that, I really expect and hopefully there can be like a public spaces that is very very friendly for like student or mahasiswa these days, and open at least like 24 hours, I guess.
Okay, so that is it for our first interviewing session. Thank you so much to Deva and also Noval. Moving on to our first commentary.
What mean like a simple daily routines for students such as studying with friends, meeting with friends, and doing tasks in cafes actually connects Jogja to a globally wider trends.
It almost seems that new cafes are emerging anywhere around the city, starting from modern designs to unique concepts. These concepts also push students to be able to choose where they fit their vibe, where to study, and where they feel most motivated.
The practice of studying in cafes is also a part of globalization phenomenon of the middle class habits where students sees cafe as a neutral spaces, co-working spaces, or even just simply reflect a modern lifestyles.
In international relations, this isn't only a daily life matter, but it is also part of the international world. From a constructivist view, the interpretations of students on cafes are constructed where students view cafes as comfort, productive, and community spaces.
But there is a deeper dimension to this phenomenon. In urban Jogja, public spaces are limited, so comfort is commodified. Where in this context, access to comfortable spaces means you have to buy a cup of coffee.
So to understand further about the story of each cup, we went to the people behind the brewing counters.
So, to start off our second interviewing session, we are today accompanied with
Tasha.
Kak Tasha here is a former barista at one of the cafes in Jogja. Moving on to the first question, apakah kakak melihat adanya pengaruh tren kafe internasional dalam mungkin cara kafe kakak beroperasi atau mungkin cara desain menunya?
I do see a lot of influence dari luar karena kayak cafe aku sendiri itu dulu itu konsepnya kayak library cafe gitu, which is itu lumayan terkenal kan di konsep luar negeri. I think it does affect our operational and then juga affect our menu juga karena kan kayak ada matcha gitu. Matcha kan dari luar negeri kan, terus kayak kebanyakan influence-nya juga lebih kental di luar negeri, and then like itu terbawa ke Indonesia di mana di cafe aku juga serving matcha.
Apakah Anda melihat adanya perubahan harga bahan baku akhir-akhir ini? Kalau iya, bagaimana pengaruhnya terhadap penjualan dan operasional harian?
Jadi dari yang aku tahu emang ada beberapa kenaikan bahan baku, maybe like milk or the coffee beans itself. And dari situ emang kita juga jadinya perlu penyesuaian untuk harga gitu, karena tentu untuk kalau misalnya kita kan base-nya profit ya, so we need to make sure tidak terjadi gap antara bahan baku yang kita punya sama harganya. So I think it does affect our price.
Menurut kakak nih, kenapa kafe itu menjadi salah satu tempat yang paling umum untuk mahasiswa, mungkin untuk belajar, ngerjain tugas, atau mungkin cuma untuk main aja?
Aku sendiri kadang juga belajar di kafe, and the reason why aku pergi ke kafe itu karena I'm surrounded by people yang juga belajar, jadi terdorong aja motivasiku untuk fokus dan belajar itu. Mungkin kan kita kalau mahasiswa apalagi Gen Z kayak suka cafe hopping, terus kayak foto-foto lucu-lucu kayak bahan Instagram, itu kayak menjadi salah satu alasan juga sih menurutku.
Apa yang membuat budaya kopi Yogyakarta ini unik dibandingkan kota-kota lainnya?
The price sih, kalau aku lihat sendiri di Jogja itu emang price-nya tergolong lebih murah dibandingkan dengan kota-kota lain. Tapi untuk kayak culture, I don't think there's a huge difference.
Menurut kakak, perkembangannya dunia kopi di Jogja yang semakin banyaknya kafe lah.
Di Jogja ini punya market pasar yang besar terhadap kafe. Banyak orang yang berlomba-lomba untuk menghadirkan inovasi baru terkait kafe. And also juga aku ngelihat kayak di kafe-kafe Jogja walaupun banyak banget, tapi kayak seringnya semuanya penuh gitu. Pasar di Jogja ini gede banget. Para pembisnis juga melihat ada peluang di situ.
Baik, mungkin dari interview ini kita selesaikan saja. Terima kasih untuk Kak Tasya waktunya.
Since we are analyzing the global value chain in this process, we first need to know that things as simple as coffee beans are imported from different origins of the world, be it locally such as Aceh Gayo or internationally from countries like Brazil, Ethiopia or Vietnam.
These beans are part of the global value chains, from farmers, processors, roasters, cafes, and lastly, consumers. Every cup we buy and drink contribute to these chains. Before we go further into our topic, we should first know what is the global value chains.
So, the global value chain is a network of activities involved in producing a single product across multiple countries. Every progress in the chain adds on more value to the product, thus making it a global value chain.
Now that we have an overview of the global value chain, we can come back and trace where the global value chain affects the price of every cup we sip in cafes.
The chain isn't random. It genuinely reflects the global commodity availability, shipping cost, market demands, and also the local economic conditions.
Neoliberal markets also play a role in the phenomenon as it explains that cafes are competing using globalized standards such as efficiency, branding, and customer experience. which shapes local cafes to adapt the concept of standards.
From the previous remark, it can be pointed out that contract division also play a role where local cafe implement the global standards, thus making local cafe identity influenced by the international standards.
As the ever-rising coffee culture also ties to consumerism, where coffee isn't just about a drink, it's also about a lifestyle, a symbol of productivity, community, and identity of students and other people.
In the end, coffee in Jogja is never only about a cup of coffee. It has also become a meeting point for different people from different regions. Be it students coming from different backgrounds, every sip is a choice made in the global market.
From the daily routines of students, the hints of baristas, to the international value chain of production, Jogja's cafes are not just a place to sit down to sip on coffee. They're also proof that globalization doesn't necessarily need to be conducted in diplomatic forums.
The repetitive daily lives of people, especially in Yogyakarta, can give us a sample of daily life international relations.
Forms of international relations doesn't always have to relate with forms. It can become something that we can taste, feel, and share. One cup at a time.